Why are producers who don't sell beats for a living telling everybody else how to sell beats for a living? I feel like the new narrative now, the new popular thing to say is that serious artists don't lease beats. I just read a comment that said DJ Payne one is biased because he sells beats online. You don't fucking say. Up until 2017, I didn't have a beat store. I didn't have my beats online. I hated beat leasing. I was a jerk about it. I was an asshole. Thankfully, I was convinced to start a beat store. I put my beats online. I mean, in addition to that becoming my main source of income, there was the networking with other producers and all the opportunities that came from that. And rappers like Polo G and Mano and Michi Darko and all these other artists were finding my beats through my online beat store. But the narrative persists that if you're a serious artist, you're not leasing beats, because why would a serious artist lease beats? And then therefore these producers that are online leasing beats aren't attracting serious artists and aren't serious producers themselves, because they're just working with they might sell some leases here and there, make a few dollars, but they're not making real music. They're not making hits. They're not making classic albums. So I found this, I don't know how I missed this. It's an interview between Brandman Sean, shout out to him, he was just on the podcast, and 24K Golden. Probably some of you older producers are saying, I don't know who the hell this person is. This is a #1 selling artist. And yes, artists can learn a ton from this conversation, but producers, I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're probably a producer. You can learn a lot, and I'll explain what you can learn from this, and hopefully this will help you on your beat selling journey.
You found that beat online. This is a situation that people, they fantasize about. I don't want to get this beat, or should I get this beat because this might blow up, or I believe in this song. You actually got a beat. It actually blew up. What was that process in terms of, did you actually buy it, or did you just, I don't even got the money, I'm gonna record and I'm not gonna even buy it?
Honestly, it was a very, very smooth process.
I'm glad he said that, because a lot of artists just don't even want to try leasing beats because they've been terrified by some horror story that someone told in the comments section that never happened.
I got a lease for the beat first. It's an untagged lease so I could record on it. I recorded on it, and honestly was just kind of hoping that no one would buy it before I did. And in my situation, it worked out because, you know, once I had the label and the management, they were like, all right, we need to buy this beat immediately.
Yes, I'm biased. I sell beats online, but realistically, this is a valid concern, and I have to acknowledge that. Rappers are concerned that if they lease a beat and then they come back, you know, a year or two later to buy the exclusive rights, someone else may have purchased those exclusive rights. More on this later.
Luckily, no one had bought it. I gave them more money than they were asking for it on YouTube, just like to be fair, you know, because everyone knew it was going to be big. And you don't want to be the guy that paid $200 for a beat, right? And then the song goes on to make $1 million, because it's like,
a lot of artists I talk to say, if I make $1 million off of a beat that I spent $100 on, oh well, that's just life, and that's not actually how the music business works. I'll talk about that too.
It's not fair, and you know, I believe in fairness. There's enough bread for everybody to eat, so I got lucky. But I would say for people in a similar situation, like, first you got to be realistic for yourself. A lot of people think songs are going to be hits that aren't going to be hits. You know, like, what is it about this song that is going to make it a hit? Is the melody so crazy that it's infectious and everybody that listens to it can't help but sing or hum along? Is it a concept that's never been done before and so crazy that it takes it to the next level? Is the delivery something that hasn't been heard that's going to capture people's ears? Is it?
So this is important for people who write songs, you know, rappers, etc. That's like a master class in writing a hit song. Producers, you know, this is a great framework for judging the songs that you're producing. This sounds like advice that I would give artists if I'm critiquing a song and they're trying to write a hit song. Not all artists are trying to write hit songs. Some artists have different fan bases, but pop artists that are trying to, you know, write these #1 songs, these breakthrough viral hits, these are great criteria to follow. Now, the song he's talking about that blew up is titled Valentino. I never heard of the song because I was in my 30s when it dropped. You always see this insult. I get it all the time. People online love to use this as an insult. They'll use the line, well, I've never heard of your music, so you're probably a nobody. It's a stupid thing to say, by the way, because not only was this song a hit, but it went 2 times platinum. I had never heard of it. Now back to the part in the interview where 24K Golden said that he bought the beat exclusively because luckily it was still available when he went back to the producer. Now there's a risk in leasing beats. And if I'm a producer and someone has written a song that's taking off to a leased beat, but they can't buy the exclusive because I've already sold it, I'm going to suggest one of 2 things. Why do I still have headphones on? One, I'd offer to build a new beat around their vocals. And realistically, I could probably do a better job because I'm creating a beat now that's based on on the artist portion of the song. Now, a lot of people have demoitis where they're completely in love with the original version, and so they're going to hate any other version that comes after it, even if it's a better version. But that just takes time for people to get used to, and they can start playing it. They can have listening parties. They can test it with their fans. This is what happened with the Pooh Shiesty record that we produced. That had to do with sample clearance. It wasn't anything to do with a beat being sold exclusively. But initially, when the new version dropped, fans were I saw thousands of fans that were so angry to the point where they were saying they were going to boycott the album. But it just took time for them to get used to it because that song went gold. It's a hit song, and it's inching towards platinum. It's more than halfway there. It's probably there already. They just haven't audited yet. So those people and their angry opinions at the time didn't really mean shit. The second thing I would do if they don't want you to try to produce a new song around their vocals is I would say, all right, well, hopefully you got the unlimited rights. If they did, great. Just let that lease run its course. And then maybe once that term is over in 10 years or however long it is, then maybe you can go back and create a new beat around the vocals. Or maybe by that point, all the traction will be lost, the momentum will be gone, and they won't even care about the song. They'll be on to the next one. But my advice to producers is plan for these contingencies. They're going to be rare, but at least understand how the business you're in works. A lot of producers have no idea how the business works, and so they have these questions. Well, what if the lease gets sold? What if this happens? What if the exclusive? They have no idea. I read the comments all the time, and I think we're in this business, and we oftentimes don't understand the business that we're in and we're making money in and we're working and we're paying taxes. We don't know what's going on around us. And that's a problem when we're selling beats. So I'm still working on the beat course, and this is going to be a major part of the beat course. It has to do with communicating with artists to sell beats, because ultimately communicating with artists and giving them the value of knowledge is going to set their minds at ease and make them a lot more comfortable spending money with you. So for example, artists that contact me and are concerned about beat leasing because, art, and this is how it should be, and this is just how it is. Artists have a lot of confidence. They think every song they write is going to be a hit. And because of this whole narrative about beat leasing being this awful thing, they are paranoid and they don't want to lease the beat because they think, okay, well, what's going to happen legally if I get the beat lease and blah, blah, blah. So what I do is, one, I can communicate with them and talk them through this, but two, I always opt for the unlimited rights, even if that means giving them a discount for it, because that way at least they know that even if someone does purchase the exclusive rights, they'll still have the unlimited rights until that term ends, which is about like a decade. So in a decade, a lot can happen. Usually a song just runs its course in a decade. So I communicate that to them rather than pushing them to spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on an exclusive license when, they don't really need to be doing that. If they spend $1,000 on one of my beats, then that's probably their music video budget. That's probably their micro influencer campaign budget. That's maybe even their distributor fee. So a huge gem for you as a producer selling beats is be knowledgeable and plan for these contingencies, so when artists contact you with these questions, you're not sitting around going, I don't know how to respond. I'm just going to give them a terrible answer. Or I'm going to tell them I don't know, or I'm just going to ghost them and never make the sale. No, learn how this stuff works so you can set their mind at ease and still make the sale and do what's fair and do what's right for both of you. Remember this video? Let's go back to that serious artists don't lease beats narrative.
Artists need to stop leasing beats. This music industry is not for the broke. It takes a lot of money to put behind a music career. All I'm saying is you got to think long term.
So let's unpack this, because the narrative is that if you're a broke artist, you're not going to make it. If you're an artist on a budget, you're at a disadvantage. If you're leasing beats, you're not a serious artist. As we discussed on the podcast, that narrative has more holes in it than John Fetterman's brain. You can Google famous artists who lease beats, and even Google's AI. Holy shit. Okay, I did not expect that. This is weird. YNW Melly, his viral song was a leased beat. Let's see who else. Old Town Road, we know about that. Ransom, I didn't know that was a lease beat. The Ransom beat was reciting on BeatStars when Lil Tecca purchased a lease, and that song is many times platinum. Blueface, I didn't know that was a lease. Damn, that was a lease too? Isn't this song Diamond? Well, Old Town Road is definitely Diamond. I mean, come on, these are massive hits. Anyone would kill to have a Diamond record. That's how you retire young. So let's rewind a little. Back to the conversation with 24 Karat Golden. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm going to tie this all up together neatly, I hope. So that artist buys the beat because his song started blowing up on Spotify. He gets signed. He has a new management team. he needs to get this beat exclusively because the label's telling him to, his management team's telling him to. So he goes back, gets the exclusive rights from the producer. Who is the producer? The producer's name is Black Mayo. He still has a BeatStars account full of beats, but he's also a recording artist. And it looks to me that he went from tight beats a year ago to almost exclusively posting his own original songs. He has kind of a hybrid channel. This is interesting to me because he's doing well, like his type beat videos are doing well, but so are his music videos. He has one music video that was viral, it was like at 10 million views. His numbers were crazy. Let's see if we can still get these beats. I mean, yeah, they're all still here on his website, prodblackmayo.com. Now, here's something that producers really need to understand, because there's also this narrative that once you buy an exclusive beat, that's it. The producer is out of the picture entirely. They take their exclusive fee and they ride off into the sunset and fuck off forever. No, So let's make this real and speak in terms of this Valentino track produced by Black Mayo for the artist 24K Golden. Yes, the producer got their fee for the beat, but they are also a co-writer because they wrote half the song. They composed the instrumental portion of the song. So many artists will fight producers over the writer's split because, and I hate that this is still happening in 2025, but look, I get these messages still. I'm like, damn, it doesn't matter how many songs I make, how many hits I have, how many plaques I get, how many followers I get. There are still people who will reach out to me and say, I'm not giving you a writer's share because you didn't write the song. I wrote the song. Bitch, you wrote the lyrics. There are a songwriter, come on, man. There are songs that exist that don't have lyrics. Virtually all classical music was written without lyrics. Maybe not virtually all, but a lot of it. And so nowadays we are still writing music. We're just using piano rolls and the FL Studio, whatever. It's still the MIDI roll is a piano roll. You are still notating, so you are writing a song. So this Valentino track, it's already popular. 24K Golden buys the beat exclusively from Black Mayo. It goes 2 times platinum. Did the producer get cut out of his equity in the song? No, because that's not normal. Don't let these comment section clowns lead you astray. We talk about how evil the labels are because the labels are doing all these evil things to fuck over artists. They're not paying producers on time. They're negotiating with Spotify for lower royalty rates behind our backs. They're collecting all the money for themselves. They're profiting from the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef because they own both of their catalog. In spite of the evil of these labels, I've personally never had, and I've had labels do scumbag shit. I've never had a label try to take my underlying composition equity from me. They've never tried to cut out my writer's or publisher's share in a song that I produced. So let's just make it real, and we'll focus on this Valentino track. I'm in Songview right now via ASCAP. You can access it on BMI. You can also do ACE title searches. Basically, this is just a database of all the writers and publishers that own equity shares in the underlying compositions of songs that have been released. So as you see here on this Valentino track, there are 2 writers. One of them's name is Landis Von Jones Golden. Guess who that is? His publishing company is 24K Golden Publishing, and probably it looks like Sony ATV. There are a lot of publishers here. But then who is this other guy? Oh, look at that. It's Black Mayo, the producer. This is how it works in the music business. Producers retain their equity in the underlying composition. And as we've seen a bunch of times, the underlying composition here entails all of these royalties: performance royalties, mechanical royalties, royalties from sync. They come from radio play, streaming, TV ads, YouTube, all these places. Micro syncs are included on this. So this is important to know because a lot of producers don't feel that they are entitled to this, and they absolutely are. Don't let people tell you that you are not a songwriter and that you don't deserve a writer or a publisher split. If you're not affiliated with a PRO, affiliate yourself with a PRO so you can claim these royalties and get registered properly. And ultimately, know the business you're in, because unfortunately, there are plenty of people who have no idea what they're talking about giving you advice on how to run your music career. And many of us are listening to this misinformation and applying it to our own careers. The more you know, the more beats you sell, the more equity you will retain, the happier you will be. And trust me, being happy in this music business goes a long way. It's the difference between continuing to make the music you love in spite of the obstacles of the music business and just giving up because you're miserable. Don't be miserable. I don't want that to happen. Hope this helps. Much success to you. Peace.